Election Day, if you can believe it, is still not over. And not long ago, there was yet another big Democratic win. NBC projects Democrat Katie Hobbs will be the next governor of Arizona. She beat Republican Kari Lake, a Trump-endorsed vocal 2020 election denier, a big one. But not long ago, despite there being no evidence of fraud, a defiant-sounding Lake tweeted, quote, "Arizonians know BS when they see it."
Oh no, that's the wrong way to approach things like this. Kari Lake, apparently, they're calling it, has finally gone down in her gubernatorial race out in Arizona to Katie Hobbs by a slightest of margins, which of course, even before we found these final results coming in, there was questions about the validity of yet another election. And that's where that tweet about the BS that Kari Lake is talking about. Sadly, the responses to that tweet didn't take it that way. Let's look at that. This is the way people responded to that tweet. Let's see it. Kari Lake says they know BS when they see it. As it turns out, yes, they did. Also, Jody Vance says best concession speech ever. Love that. The roast continued as Jackson Boaz also wrote the BS, left the picture of the two BS artists there. Probably the most astute thing she has said is what Monica Lewinsky chimed in with. Yvette Nicole Brown also said, Kari Lake, they sure do. That's why you lost, girl. Ask Sarah Palin how being a chick like you ultimately plays out politically. Tim O'Brien, at least 50% of Arizonans knew. Philip Gorovich, perfect concession, self-aware and concise. There was more though. There's more to this. There was a lot of boasting happening before this eventual loss for Kari Lake. Let's go to that because one other part about this, there was a reporter on CNN that was relaying the way that many folks responded to Kari Lake's campaign, which again was boasting, was prepared, had already crowned herself, and actually dogged out many constituents / voters that would have maybe put their name in her name down on their ballot. Let's watch how this reporter pointed out how they felt the way that she had conducted that entire campaign.
We drove a stake through the heart of the McCain machine.
Between the McCain Republicans and the Trump Republicans, a fierce battle we've seen over a couple of different cycles. One of the Republicans in this state said that Kari Lake told a legion of John McCain supporters across Arizona that they could go to hell. Tonight, they returned the favor. So
she basically said they could go to hell. I mean, I guess kind of, because they drove a stake in the heart of McCain Republicans, I guess. Time to separate yourself from a large voting bloc in that state. Talk about being detached from the people. There was more though, I'm not done. Kari Lake put out this letter. This was back in October when she was ready to crown herself yet again. And she was going directly after Liz Cheney, who had vowed, since she had lost her primary, to make sure that certain folks like Kari Lake, she said by name, would not win. This is a letter that she put out in response to that. Kari Lake did. She said, "Dear Liz, thank you for your generous in-kind contribution to my campaign. Your recent television ad urging Arizonans not to vote for me is doing just the opposite." And she talks about her campaign donations and the traffic on her website, discovering what she really is about. Pause for a second. She's assuming because people visited her website, which she claims, I mean, that's something we have to confirm, but this large spike in people viewing her website means that they're all on board. It just might mean that they read what you wrote and went, ugh. Why is it an assumption that it's suddenly everything that everyone wants to see and hear? Either way it goes, the response from Liz Cheney after the loss that was announced just yesterday said, "You're welcome, Kari Lake, for that in-kind contribution after she lost." The gloating is going like crazy, Sharon. How are you feeling about this? Are you uncomfortable with the fact that these grown-ass adults are fighting like this on Twitter and gloating?
No, I watch the Real Housewives series every single installment. So I love it. I love though that Liz Cheney is literally counting the words. I mean, and John McCain, how long has he been gone? The Maverick. Donald Trump hates John McCain so much. It's like he wants to bring him back to have that final conversation with him. And it just cements the fact that Kari Lake is Trump in pumps. Everything he does is what she wants to be. And I don't think we've seen the last of her, okay? She may not want to recount and she may not refuse to concede here because she'll be on to other things. When you lose your $100 and he runs for president, I think she has a good shot at being the running mate.
I was like, who's she talking about with $100? That's me.
That's you.
Well, also, but I guess, okay, because I was gonna ask you, I'm glad you said it before I even asked. You said she's on to other things. I was curious what you thought. So apparently, potentially, a vice presidential run. So she'd get chosen over Marjorie Taylor Greene, say, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, those reputable candidates there too, right?
Yeah, I think so. She's the perfect running mate. She sticks to the script. She's camera ready. She can't go to Fox News because they could always get back on the Trump bandwagon, but they seem to have kind of backed away from that. So 100%. It's obvious. She believes that he will be the Republican nominee if he runs, I think, okay, not the guy down in Florida. So sure, she'll hit your giddy up. They're probably talking every day. They're planning things. Sure. Now, if they run, and if she gets more attention than him, then we'll see. That'll be delicious. That'll be juicy.
That's always the problem.